Salam alaikum, and thank you for having me here. It's fantastic to be back in Oman, one of my favourite places in the world now, in terms of the spirit of placemaking that really lives here. And I just wanted to thank you both for having me here. And Khalil, I think you're very much an honorary placemaker. This is placemaking, how we come together in a circle, and the ritual of greeting, which I witnessed, which is wonderful. Great cities of the world is about how we activate our senses, yeah? Through connection, through eating, through maybe sometimes dance, sometimes with music, and also with beauty. We know the most beautiful cities in the world are the places people want to. They're called sticky places, sticky cities. Cities that you want to go to and you don't want to leave, but they're very commercially successful. And that's what we're finding in the Middle East. A lot of shopping centre owners now are saying, well, we're starting to get the McDonaldization of shopping, yeah? They're all the same. Would everyone agree?
Yes.
All the shops are the same, all the malls are the same. So what are we building, what are we creating? And so importantly, let's have a look at some of those things. So placemaking is very much a holistic place. It's about creating meaning and connection. The most great cities of the world have a sense of spirit of place and a sense of understanding the social, cultural and economic life of place that benefits. So there's a great shift. Things are getting better and better, worse and worse, faster and faster in the world. Faster and faster with technology, yeah? That's the speed, but there's so many good things happening on the planet. But importantly, we're moving from regions and municipalities to unique hubs in town centres and community hubs. That generic form of single use to mixed use. We're starting to see shopping centres now globally. Westfield, the biggest shopping centre in the world, is saying we can't build shopping centres now, we have to build towns and cities, yeah? Mixed use, yeah? With civic centres and cultural centres and libraries, and the importance of when people come and shop and they have to do something more than retail. So that local village. So we're moving also from building cities just for hardware, buildings and freeways and cars, to software, hardware and software marrying, public spaces, cultural precincts, public parks, how we bring back the souks. So what makes a great place? When we ask, we've worked with 1,000 cities for nearly 30 years now around the world, and all these same principles come back. And I dare say that in Oman and in Muscat, you already live this life. It's not broken here. It's actually, you have this extraordinary glue. And that's what's very important, that we acknowledge that we plan for people and place first. And we build local pride. The best cities in the world, the locals love the place first, not the tourist. The locals love the place first. Number one rule in economic development. Yeah? So the importance of making the public realm, this is one of our projects in Sydney. We built a playground for free with 50,000 children come every week. Yeah, every week. They have to eat, they have to, connect. But importantly, this is for our client Lend Lease, and the importance of providing places to walk, wheel, sit and socialise. We know when you have a place where you're walking more, the retail works better. Yeah, because it's not a component about movement, it's about exchange. Yeah? When you have a walkable place, you have higher performance to bring exchange, and that's where you drive the economy. Again, the street becomes the place, and developing an intimate human scale. You're very lucky here in Oman, where very rare is like anything over 15 stories. So one of the great principles, we work with Jan Gal in Copenhagen, in Melbourne and lots of other places, that we need the human scale to bring everything back to the street, yeah? Back to the framework. So this is very important about how we create those places to create stories of art and beauty. We know with art, beautiful places with art and beauty, people will stay 20% longer. Isn't that an interesting fact? People will stay 20% longer in a beautiful environment. And of course, the smart developers and smart city designers, this is where the economic driver of a city happens, when it's a beautiful place. And keeping it fun and experiential. So in the globe now, we have a billion tourists. They're called cultural creatives now. Middle-class tourists, they go everywhere, in Dubai and Paris, Melbourne. They travel, they've got lots of money. But what they want is not products anymore, they want experiences. Placemaking is the glue, as Mيمونة was saying, and that's why we want to make Amman the capital of the Middle East, because it's already got the story. So it's the glue that brings people together to make them feel alive, authentic, and destinational. The most successful developers and institutional investors in the world understand this now. They're moving very quickly towards cities for people, yeah? Because they don't have to retrofit. Shopping centres only have a 6-year life cycle, 7-year life cycle, because they're the same. You have to retrofit them. But if you're building a place in a city with all these cultural, social, it's very important. So there is a transition, and let's have a look at that transition. So we're going from, there's two areas that, and I think this is where places like Dubai and Doha and other places in the Middle East are becoming very strong. Edutainment, experience retail, entertainment and leisure, fashion, convenience. We call this the red ocean, yeah? Everyone's competing now. And really what's interesting, the shopping centres are the same. 98% of all the retail in every shopping centre are pretty much the same. Would anyone agree?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the same.
Yeah.
We are. So this competitive advantage is really important because it's about, if you put placemaking as the centre and authentic experiences, you start to get increased customer loyalty, increased people staying longer, increased visitation, connects more than retail. This is the most important point, yeah? It's not just about commerce and retail. It's about culture. It's about authenticity. It's about the civic life, yeah? The public spaces. Our great public spaces are the great drivers of tourism. We know when we go to Italy, we spend a lot in those piazzas, yeah? And we feel alive. So there's a history, thousands of years old history in this country of coming together, yeah, in the souks, in these public spaces. We created one of the great markets of the world 20 years ago, Queen Victoria Market, who has been to Melbourne. We created the night markets there. It's 20 years old now, and we have 70,000 people in 4 hours. Extraordinary. 60 to 70, but we have 80 beautiful, sensory Spanish donuts, but it brings in the magic. This is where I think Amman could really lead the way in these great markets, in your souks, and your new souks, yeah? This is 21st century versions as well, so it's not just old, but old and new. Markets are very powerful. So taking risks is very important. I think leadership in both Muscat and the moment is going to be one of the key things. Who's going to do this? Who's going to lead this? What are the blocks? Who's going to take the risks? Which developers are going to change the game? Making it quick. Little ideas sometimes are very important, starting with small and then adapting. Thanks, Mيمونة. So this is a snapshot of Melbourne. We'll quickly go through this, but importantly, Melbourne as a city transformed. I've been very lucky. I've lived in Melbourne for 50 years. I'm 105 years old, but I'm looking good. So these public spaces in 1983, we're just doing another research piece now. Unfortunately, I don't have the data. It's coming out in a few months. But this is where we had our public spaces. Thank you. And then we brought out a plan called Grids and Greenery, which is still the same plan, 30 years, yep? So we have the same design director, Rob Adams, 30 years, keeping the lead, the same. Jan Gell came in 1988 to help with that process. So this is 1993, and this is in 2004. So we've quadrupled the public spaces, yeah? We've taken cars out and created these public spaces. White Night is one of our great festivals, only 6 years old, where all the buildings become works of art, yeah? Through lighting. So we have 700,000 people come out. Children mostly, till midnight, and families. So these are give you an example of these sort of festivals. Thank you. So I'm going to leave you with this quote: "Another world is not only possible, she is on her way on a quiet day, I can feel it." But I don't know the way. So I'll leave you with this note. I think with placemaking, it's a global movement. It's been driven, interestingly, by great cities of the world now. Understanding that 40 years ago it was all about the suburbs. Now we're in the generation where the cities will be the greatest economic drivers of economies. And I think what's exciting in this area of place and placemaking is that in Amman you already have the foundation, yeah, and the spirit of place. And that's what I think you all should be very proud of, and I feel this very much so. I've worked all over the Middle East. So I want to leave it there and open up for questions. I just want to say thank you very much for having me here. I'm looking forward to the 2-day masterclass and all the talks we'll be doing to students and other and the municipality in the next few days. And thank you very much.